Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Oumaima. I know I haven't been here in such a long time, and I have not been consistent throughout this entire year. This is probably the second video I'm going to post this entire year, and that happened accidentally. I have no promises that I'm going to be better, but I'm going to try to post more. I have a bunch of books here that I've read physically. I think I'm getting back into reading in this August, in this month. So I think I will post more now that I'm reading more, unlike what I have been doing this entire year, because this is my worst reading month. I have only read 21 books so far, so this is not a good reading year for me. But nonetheless, I have some books that I want to talk about. This physical pile and some other ebooks in here. So let's just get started. The first book I read since I last updated you is Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson, which is the book 6 in the Mistborn trilogy, Mistborn series I mean. And I cannot tell you much about this book other than we're getting to know more of the characters, and it's getting more high stakes, and I was really excited to see what's gonna happen in the 7th book, which I have read and I will talk about shortly. This one was, I think, 5 stars or maybe 4 stars, but it was a really good book, like any other Brandon Sanderson book I have read. So the next book that I can talk about that I wouldn't have to spoil much is Three Daughters of Eve by Elif Shafak. I have read last year one of The Island of Missing Trees, and I love that book so much. This book starts with this mother who gets robbed, and then she gets this memory of her life in Oxford, I think. There's a scandal that happened, and we believe that she is involved in that scandal. The Three Daughters of Eve came from our main character, who was like in between religions. She's not fully religious, but she's not non-religious, and her friend who is completely not religious, and her other friend who is religious, and she wears hijab and everything, and she is satisfied in that. And we see their dynamic, and you know how they interact with each other. They're all friends. They all live in the same house in Oxford. They're all students in there, and it's such a beautiful story. It's very well told. I get this one 5 stars, but I still think that the other one is much better than this one. However, this is a good book as well. The next book I have read is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a romantasy, I believe. I'm not really into romantasy. I have not given it any chance, but I say I'm not into it because I just know I'm not gonna like it. And I gave this one a chance because I usually like Ali Hazelwood's writing, but this one was just not it for me. It was just not it. If we're following, this book starts with a wedding. Usually with the romance books, wedding is the last thing that happens, but this one starts with the wedding. And our main character, she's a vampire, and she's marrying into an alpha of the werewolves. I really didn't see the dynamic between them. I did not like the story. I mean, I was interested in the fantasy elements of the story of the vampires and the werewolves and humans and everything, but I was not interested in romance. Romance was the weakest part of me, and since I am reading the book for the romance, I did not enjoy this book so much. So I think that I gave this one 3 stars, maybe 2. The next book I have read is The Lost Meadow by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 7th book in the Mistborn series, which is the book that I was talking about. I did not know this is the end of the second era, so I was completely shocked by the ending of this book because I thought we still have more books in this era. I knew it's the last published book as of the time I'm talking in this series, but I thought we still have more time with these characters. And so I was completely shocked by the ending, and it was such a beautiful book. 5 stars, definitely well deserved. The next book I have read is a book that I have been meaning to read for so long, and I've been saving it for the best time because I knew I was going to love it, and I needed to be in the right mindset for it. And that is Moi qui n'ai jamais connu les hommes, which is I Have Never Known Men. I decided to read it in French because it's the original language. I was completely bored with this book. Like, the premise was really interesting. We're following this group of young women in general. Like, we're following, our main character is young, but there are other older women who are locked up in a cage, I think, in the middle of nowhere. And one day there's this, we don't know why they're there or how they ended up there, why exactly those women. our main character doesn't know either. So one day, a siren blasted or something, and the cage doors were left open, the guards left, and everyone left, and so the women leave the cage, and they just go out for the first time in such a long time. Our main character was born there, so she does not remember the outside world at all. That is her entire world, and I was kind of hoping to have answers. This book doesn't have answers. It just talks about, you know, what's happening. It doesn't tell you why they were captured. Where are they? What is this world? It doesn't explain anything, and I was reading, waiting for an explanation. There was none, and so I was a bit disappointed by this book. That I was hoping to give it 5 stars, but I ended up giving it, I think, 3 stars. The next book I have read is another disappointment, and another one by Ali Hazelwood, which I usually like, but this one is another one that is different from her usual books. She usually writes rom-com, women in STEM, but this one is more spicy, and I really did not like it. I don't see the chemistry between the characters, and I actually don't remember actually the plot of this book either. All I remember is that I did not like it. I don't remember anything about it, this book, so I mean that tells you everything about it, I guess. The next book I have read is The Master and Margarita by Mikhael Bulgakov. This was another book that I was hoping I was really going to love. I have the Arabic translation, which I think was not the best for me because I was struggling a bit to get through it in the beginning. This book is about, it starts off with two characters talking, and they're talking about how there is no God and there's no Satan and everything, and another guy overhears them and he joins the conversation, and he basically is trying to tell them, like, are you sure there is no God? Are you sure there's no Satan and everything? And they keep saying that yes, and then he says that one of those guys will have his head decapitated by the end of the day, and it does happen. One of them ends up, the other guy who was present and he witnessed that thing, he ends up in a mental asylum, and basically just Satan goes to Moscow and he creates havoc. There was just crazy things happening. I was kind of hoping to see, it was fun to read, but I don't think it's the best classic I've ever read. There was a lot of shocking things happening, a lot of weird things happening, and it just over and over, so it just kind of like lost its value for me. I don't know, this is magical realism, and I don't like magical realism, so maybe that's the reason why I did not like it. But overall, this was also 3 stars. I know I have a lot of 3 stars and a lot of disappointing books in this video, but my reading has not been going well. The next book I have read is the books that I actually liked, and that is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is a book that basically has no plot. I just picked it up because I have heard that this is the best Kazuo Ishiguro's work, so I was curious. I wanted to love it, and I did love it. This is basically about a man who works as a butler in this big house in the UK, and his boss or the owner of the house tells him to go on a vacation. Our main character has never been on a vacation, so he goes to meet someone who was working as a housekeeper in there, because he thinks that having her as an addition in having her back to work in the house would be a great addition for the house. He only thinks about work and stuff like that. He does not think about anything else. And so we're following through this beautiful journey. It's beautifully written. I have never read anything that is written like this before. It feels so well done. This book talks about so much about butlers, and I would not think I would enjoy a book that talks about butlers so much, but I actually really love this book. I think I give this one 4.5 stars. The next book I have read is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This is a book that is similar to The Remains of the Day. It doesn't have a big plot. It's just beautiful writing. I cannot tell you the plot of this book because the plot is not the main thing. It's not about the plot. This is about the story, the beautiful writing, and it's really short book. So I think it's less than 200 pages, so it's easily readable, and I enjoy it so much. I think I give this one also 4 stars. The next book I have read is a book that I have DNF'd before, and it is now one of my favorite books. I don't know why I have DNF'd it, and I even talked about it on here, I think, and I said I don't know that I don't get the hype. I now do get the hype, and that book is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This is also a book that doesn't care so much about the plot because we're following two best friends' life since they're 5 years old until their 60s. I'm talking about the whole series in here, but in the first book we're following their childhood and adolescence. I have not read the other 3 books yet, but I will definitely read them. So I'm really invested in these girls' stories. It's not just about their stories, it's also about their neighborhood, their neighbors, their parents and everything around them, their teachers. It's such a well done book, such well beautifully written, and I cannot wait to read more from this series. I'm currently watching the show. It's in episode 2 right now. It's so good. It's so accurate to the book. It's not really that different from it, but it's so well done, and I'm loving it at this point. The next book I have read is also a reread, but this one I have reread a book that is already a favorite of mine. I have read this one the first time in 2018, and I love this book so much. And I have reread it because I do not own the copy, so I bought the copy and I reread it. I also annotated it. I don't have any post-it notes, but I just underline things that I like. This book is still a favorite. This book is about a mathematician who figures out this mathematical problem that can lead to like very good technological development, but the aliens think that humans are too dumb to have this kind of knowledge in their hands, and they are too dangerous because they are too dumb. So they kill the mathematician. They send this alien in front of it in its place. It looks like him, it's dressed like him and everything, and the alien has to basically remove all evidence of this discovery and kill everyone who knows about it. So this book, the first half of it starts really funny, but then he understands what it really means to be human, and it's such a beautiful story. And I also read this book as preparation for his next book that is coming out. It already came out in the UK like yesterday, I think. It's coming out in the US on the 3rd of September. I'm waiting for my library to get it, so I read this one instead in preparation for that one. The next book I have read, I listened to it as an audiobook, and that is The Age of Magical Overthinking by Amanda Montell. Amanda Montell wrote the Word Slut, which I really loved. It's one of my favorite non-fictions, and she also wrote Cultish, which I didn't care for, which is the same by this one. I did not care for that much. This is an essay collection. There are essays that I really loved, but there are essays that I just could not care for, so I give this one 3 stars. The next book I have read, and the final book in this video, is A Moveable Feast by Hemingway. This is my first Hemingway, and I have to say I did not know this is a non-fiction, by the way, so I just picked it up because I saw that this one has the best reviews on Goodreads, so I picked it up. It was very readable because it's short and it has very short chapters. I did like it, but I don't think it was anything special, to be honest. There was the biggest chapter over here is the chapter on Scott Fitzgerald. Usually chapters in here are 1 to 2 pages long, 3 pages sometimes, but the chapter on Scott Fitzgerald is so long. It's the longest chapter in here, and he talks about him in detail, and to be honest, this made me dislike Scott Fitzgerald. I mean, I would not say it's a bad book. Like, I did enjoy some aspects of it, so that's why I gave it 3 stars, but it was not the best book either. And these are all the books that I have read since I last updated you, which is 13 books, which is not that much, since, to be honest, some people read this much in a single month. I'm currently reading Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. I have read Little Fires Everywhere by her, and it was one of my favorite books in whatever year I read it in, and I have been meaning to read more by her, but I completely forgot about her until I was watching a video by Lacey Reads, and she mentioned it, and I'm not that far into it. I'm only like 50 pages or so into it, but I'm really loving it. It's so good. We're following this bird gardener. His name is Bird and his last name is Gardner, and his mother left when he was a child. He does not know why, and they're living in this world where everything is censored, from what I understand right now. I might be completely wrong. Right now, from where I'm at, he's currently trying to look up his mother on the school computer, and he's not getting anything because it's censored. That's the chapter that I saw. That I'm really enjoying this book right now. It might be one of my favorites. I don't know, like I'm too early into it to see, but I think the next book I'm going to read will definitely be the next Matt Haig's book, The Life Impossible. I have been waiting for that for like so long right now, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And hopefully this will not be the last you see of me, and I will not disappear for another 2 to 3 months or something. Hopefully you will see me in the next week with another video, and as always, I'll see you next time, and goodbye.